Jungkook had distangled, detached, and distanced himself from her within seconds. Ryan turned on her side to lovingly trace his harsh profile with her eyes, yearning to touch and caress the smooth, silky, and slightly tanned skin. Give me a son, Ryan. His five words kill all the love which you were feeling for him. But you also had your own five words. He tensed. Every single muscle in his body went as tight as a collide spring before he turned his head to meet her watchful gaze. But I thought he loved me, Ryan, he taunted with cruelty, and Ryan lowered her eyelids, trying to mask the shaft of pain at his words. Not anymore, she managed, hoping the lie sounded convincing. Hmm, then what happened to I love you forever, Cookie? Things change, she whispered. What things? He asked, raising his brows. Feelings change, she stuttered. I changed. You look no different. Still the same wine I married, the same timid little wine who can't even give me the only thing I have ever wanted from the pathetic excuse of a marriage. That's why I wanted divorce. But I told you from the very beginning, Ryan, there would be no easy way out of this marriage. I can't live like this anymore. She buried her face in her knees and fought to keep tears inside, not letting them fall. Neither of us has much choice. He sat up and stretched his arms before getting up. Wine also wiped her tears with the back of her hands, then wore her thin gown and went to the kitchen. While she was sitting on a bar stool sipping her hot milk, she felt Jungkook's presence behind her, and the hairs in the nape of her neck stood on the end. You must be cold in only that little thing you are wearing, he said, heading towards the fridge and dragging out the carton of banana milk. I'm fine. She got up abruptly and headed towards the sink to rinse her mug, but he grabbed her elbow to halt her movement. She tensed, shocked by the touch. Jungkook never touched her outside of the bedroom. They had been married for 2 years. This was the first time that she could recall him touching her. He leaned closer to her and lowered his lips to her ear. She felt his hot breath on the side of her face. Spoke. There'll be no talk of divorce, Ryan, ever, he told her with a sickening air of finality. You can't stop me from divorcing Yuko, she responded bravely. You really want a divorce, Viney? He asked tauntingly, and she nodded without hesitating. If you get that divorce, your best friend loses her business, and she can't afford that now, not with a new baby on the way. You wouldn't. Lisa has done nothing to deserve this. I will do whatever it takes to get what I want from you. I have money too. I can help her, she began desperately. No, you have a rich father, but you know how greedy he is. I still don't believe you would do it. You have a reputation to uphold. You are an honest businessman. You wouldn't destroy a small business just to prove a point. What kind of message would that send? Do you honestly think I care what people think of me? Why? Do you think I care what you think of me? I never have, I never will. You are weak and spoiled. I'm not. She tried to defend herself, but he made a scuffing sound, the back of his throat, before continuing on if she hadn't spoken. You'll get your divorce eventually, but there's something I need to get from you first. You wanted this marriage, remember? You begged for it. So if you want a divorce right now, it'll come with some heavy penalties attached to it. Are you willing to gamble with your best friend's future? She said nothing, choosing to turn and walk away instead. He watched her go. She could feel his gaze burning into her slender back, but he did not call her back. She did not return to the bedroom they had been sharing. You come downstairs after changing your clothes into jeans and t-shirt. You saw Jungkook sitting on sofa and reading newspaper. Then you spoke, gaining his attention. I'm going out, you said, picking up your car keys. Where? I don't know how much time I'll take to come back, so don't bother. Without waiting for his response, you left. Today you had your art exhibition, although no one knows about this because no one cares at all. Your father is always busy with this business, and Jungkook almost hates you. The first thing you did after coming here is to switch off your phone because you don't want to deal with any. Meanwhile, Jungkook was continuously trying to call you. Then he called your best friend Lisa, but she told that you are not with her. At the same time, he saw you standing at doorways. You gulped slightly at the huge form of your husband looming in the doorway. You yelped when he grabbed your arm and yanked you inside. He slammed the door shut, gripping both shoulders in his huge hands, and backed you up until you were leaning against the door. You pull a stunt like this again, Wine, and I swear to God you will regret it. She flinched away from him as reality brought her back down to earth. With a thump, he let her go and she slid down the door to land at his feet. Where have you been? He asked calmly, but you refused to answer. Wine, I'm warning you. One away, you taunted shakily. You wanted to stay married, fine, but I refuse to let you walk all over me anymore. How the hell am I supposed to respect someone who sold herself to the highest bidder? He growled. You lost it. It was the first time you were hating him this much. You tried moving away from him aggressively, but you were still in his hold. I'm sorry, he said, almost inaudible. That was cruel and wrong of me. But you don't know what to reply him, so you started moving quietly. Wine, he called you calmly, then you turned to look at him. I'm sorry, Wine, I didn't mean anything. I'm going to bed. You knew how insincere he is. You made yourself towards your luxurious room and tears welled up in your eyes. Jungkook's cruel words were still in your mind. You always felt guilty about the baby, which you lost after 3 months of pregnancy. You had never shared what you felt after your loss. Despite being in depression, you still tried to work things out with Jungkook for almost 1 year of marriage. You thought you can change his behavior towards you, but now you can't do it anymore. You heard a loud bang on the door. Ryan, open the damn door. He angrily thumped on the wood again, and this time it was loud enough to make you jump up and hurriedly unlock and open the door. Why you have locked the door? He asked stiffly. I have decided to separate our rooms. Why so? He asked, glaring at you. In the morning, I told you I wanted a divorce, so it wouldn't feel right if I continued to share your bed as if we had never had this conversation. You are being ridiculous. No, I think I'm actually making sense for the first time in nearly 2 years. My wife sleeps with me. You have to share bedroom, even if I have to drag you there kicking and screaming. I may have to sleep with you, but I. Yes. What's to stop me from simply taking what belongs to me? I don't belong to you. Well, I certainly spent huge amounts of money for you. That feels like ownership to me. Look, I have no idea what you are talking about. You protested in frustration, and he laughed softly. Again, same thing that you don't know. Well, I don't have any plans either to give you details. Then he pulled you towards him. Come on, we are going to bed. But you removed yourself from his world since when you started behaving like a. You haven't seen the typical husband in me yet, Yuni. I advise you not to push me on this, not unless you want things to get really ugly between us. I don't see how things can get any uglier. You whispered you really don't want to find out how much worse it can get. Trust me on that. His eyes were boring in yours. Your breath was coming in small gasps. Just go to bed. But I don't want to. I know I'm not exactly in the right frame of mind for it either. You won't touch me. Not unless you want me. I don't want you to. Then you have nothing to worry about. Been an hour you were trying to sleep, but sleep was far away. I'm not also getting any sleep. Just hush, don't disturb me. You know, you are being ridiculous. I don't care how ridiculous you think I'm being. This is what I want, Jungkook. I don't believe it for a second. Do you mean it's not enough for you, Wine? No, he said, settling himself on you. I don't want this. Yes, it is. If you do this, you would excuse me for this. If shoes fits, what does that mean? It doesn't mean. That's a pretty clear example. He doesn't reply anything and lay down back facing you. Both were having breakfast, but then Jungkook breaks the silence. What exactly you were trying to say yesterday? Why you care now? And before asking me what do you think about your behavior, we are not discussing me. But I think so. It's time to discuss about you. You suddenly get disappeared, and your everyday news with different women. I don't feel married. No, neither I feel married. Maybe I'm ready to be outrageous. Maybe I'm ready to for other men and extramarital affairs too. This is had better not be your way of telling me that you were with another man last night, Ryan. He warned. So what? So what if that's exactly what I'm telling you? Asked daringly. What will you do about it? Make my life hell? Well, surprise, surprise. It's already hell. Do you worst? What's his name? Looking at his feature, you recognize that you have pushed him too far. Why and what the hell he is? I was just giving you an example. I don't believe you. I wasn't with anybody last night. I just needed a break. A break, he repeated, raising his brows. Yes, a break from you, from this life. I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I want out. I want away from you. Please, I just want a divorce, Cook. Please. You will get your divorce when I get my son, he reminded ruthlessly. This is so sick, you protested. Why would you even want a child with a woman who you despise? Didn't responded. But then again he looked at you. You honestly don't know, do you? He breathed in disbelief and you blinked in confusion. No what? Why you married me? He asked suddenly. You know why? Not again why? You stood from your stool, but suddenly you felt nauseous and your head started spinning. Jungkook noticed. Then he tried holding you, but you removed his hand. I'm fine. Today I woke up early. Maybe that's why feeling like this. So please excuse me. But I asked you a question, Vine, a stupid question that you already know the answer to. Maybe I'd like to hear the answer again. Oh God, why do you insist on doing this? You groaned. You really loved me, didn't you? You may rest assured that whenever whatever I felt for you a year ago is no longer an issue. I want a divorce, nothing you do or say which can make me to stay with you. Yes, I'm beginning to realize that without answering him, you went upstairs to your personal room. You were sitting in your room, complaining your leftover art, but then you heard some voice from downstairs. It was Jungkook and Lee Jong-soo, your father's voice. You were confused that what he is doing here because Jungkook never liked your father or neither his own parents. You decided to listen to their conversation, so you left your room and stood upstairs behind the curtain. Listen, what exactly they have to talk about. Your daughter wants a divorce. What are you talking about? Divorce is not an option. You know that. Yes, I know, but I think so. She doesn't know. Of course not. She would never have married you if I hadn't fancied herself in love with you. Her father laughed harshly and Wine winced. I thought she knew that she would gone into a marriage deciding to sell herself for the sake of your little contract. Would it have changed your mind if you had known you were marrying a naive little fool? Are you telling me that she married me believing that I was in love with her? Of course, and you just went ahead and let her believe that? I know it was ridiculous assumption on her part, but it played right into on our hand. It was like watching a sleepy kitten fall in love with a roaring lion. Played into our hands, there is no us here, Lee. I never knew that you were playing with your own daughter. Just stop if you know how much benefit our company will get after she gave birth to the son. And this is what your father also wants. You would better keep her happy, get her pregnant, and stop her from crying for divorce. You know what you stand to lose if your marriage will bring. I don't care about it. I think so. You forget that whosoever will break the contract first to pay her heavy amount. I'm not like you only thinks about money, play with their own daughter's heart, but your father will never get agreed to break the contract, so you are left with no option. This girl, she can't do anything right for me, but I know for a young man like you, it won't be hard to make her pregnant with a boy. And after that, you can divorce her, then marry your love of life, Jenny. You were already crying, hearing your father's cruel words, but now your pain got increased after hearing another girl's name. Now you are confused that what will happen to your baby and you after you give birth to him. Jungkook will forget about you all start living his life on after ruining yours. No, no, I don't deserve this. I want my life. I also have dreams. I can't let these people ruin my life like this. No one loved me now. I don't even expect anything from anyone. Next day, Jungkook woke up from his sleep and started doing his morning routine as usual. You both haven't exchanged single word with each other since yesterday. Then Jungkook came downstairs to have his breakfast, but you were nowhere to be found. He got confused. Then he called several times, Wine, wine. He checked the whole house, but you were nowhere to be found. And this is the last room he checked. When he entered this room, he was shocked to see the masterpiece made by you. Then his eyes went to a letter. He quickly grabbed the letter to see what has written on it. Open up the letter. Hey Cook, I know you might get shocked after entering to this room, although you never visited this room, but by any chance just to find me, if you come to this room, you will know that how much I loved you. But not anymore. I can't get used by you. All that's why I'm leaving everything behind. So please just do me a single favor and never try to find me. Continuous tears were coming from Jungkook's eyes. He realized how much he hurt you intentionally or unintentionally, but now he lost. It's been 6 months since Vine left the house. Today she is sitting in one of her art exhibition in Paris. Her pregnant belly is fully visible. The only reason she is trying to be strong is her baby. It's her everyday struggle. She was lost in her own thoughts when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, making her turn and look to the person. But as soon as she turned, was shocked to see the person standing behind her. Wine, you're John Wine, right? You wanted to deny, tell her she's not what she is expecting, but her head automatically gave a slight nod. Your expressions hardened. You tried to sound cold. Why is finding me? Aren't you both in relationship? No, Wine, we are not. It's just a media who like to make rumors to spice up things. And how can I trust you that he isn't doing this for hire because of contract he made with the family just to take the baby away? Why he doesn't even know about your pregnancy. It's just I assumed you must be carrying his child. Jenny held Ryan's hand and squeezing it gently, she again spoke. Trust me, Ryan, nothing is going to between us. You should give Jungkook another chance. A week later, it was night time. Jungkook was sitting on beach and a cold breeze hitting him, but he was lost in his own thoughts, getting drunk. His eyes were red and full of deep sorrow. He felt someone sitting beside him. You shouldn't drink this much. As soon as the voice hit his ear, he looked up, seeing the person he was wishing to see since 6 months. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm really sorry. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I can't live without you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. He looked at her with his teary eyes, then her bump. He gently motioned his hands on her swollen belly. I was hurt. I don't want to see my father ever again. She spoke with teary eyes. You don't have to whine. I have already left everything behind. I was always angry with you because I thought even after knowing about contract you are putting love drama. Dad always said that you liked me and wanted to marry me. Eventually I started seeing you that way. I liked your personality, how reserved and hardworking you used to be. Only if I knew I would never had married you in first place. He wraps his arms again around her and spoke in requesting tone. Can you please forgive me? At least give me a chance. I promise I'll take care of you and our baby. You hugged him back, resting your head on his chest. You know I always loved you and it will take time, but I won't work on this relationship. I want to provide a beautiful family to our baby. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much for giving me another chance and promise our child will have everything. I will spoil him rotten with love and affection, and I will love you to fill every void which I have created. Subscribe.